Hi everybody, I'm back again with another handheld from my past I've found in the loft, and this time I'm going to be trying to update my Neo Geo Pocket Colour with a RPS screen. Now I was going to do it a couple of weeks ago, but the problem was my kit shipped without the bracket to centre the screen in my particular model of Neo Geo, so I had to get a friend of mine to print me a screen centering bracket set so I can get it in. Thanks a lot for that, Pete. It's going to help out a lot, so hopefully I'll be able to get through this mod pretty easily, pretty quickly. I don't think there's going to be any soldering. If I get the speaker out the front, I shouldn't have to unsolder it. If I do, then it's just 2 points to do, which is, even by my standards, relatively straightforward. So let's get cracking on with this, and I'll try not to waffle on too much, as I attempt to follow a shonky video I found on the internet. Now, I've got to try and be careful with this because I only own 2 Neo Geo Pockets, and if I break one, they're not very cheap anymore. So I've gone with my crystal one. Pretty sure the battery in this has leaked and is unusable. So get that out. Off you pop. Crikey, how do you get these watch batteries out? There we go. It's probably flat. I'll have to get a new one. But this Neo Geo does work. I did try it out beforehand. I just can't remember where I put the batteries, so I'm just fetch something a bit. Put the kit to one side for now. Just got to disassemble. Looking on the back of the machine, we've got Phillips screws on all, except for one there, which looks like a tri-wing, which is a little bit crafty. So we'll start off with him. So one would assume that the PCB is screwed down as well, so we've got 1, 2 near the joystick, 3 on the side, looks like 3 for the PCB. These 2 points I might need to desolder if I can't clip the speaker out, but I've seen people clip the speaker out, so I'm going to be lazy, try and do it that way. Being held in somewhere. I'm incredibly stupid. Let's just put the back on. Right, what you need to do is remove Mr. Joystick. He's holding the PCB in position. Pop. There we go. Off he comes. Problem solved. That's the main PCB. Luckily, without having to desolder. There we go. Put that to one side. So what we want to do now is remove the screen from the front panel. I've read, just like with the Game Boy Advance, because of the adhesive around the edges on the outside of the screen, you have to sort of twist it like an ice cube tray. Did you hear that? Pop straight out there. And as you do that, you should just be able to get under the screen and lift it the rest of the way out. And you can go with my numerous Game Boy screens in a drawer somewhere, probably never to see the light of day again. Now, there's a lot of different 3D printed brackets about. The first one I tried toying with was this, where you drop it into the system that way round, or you drop the screen in, but you tend to get a bit of a bulge on the case when trying to screw it up, because it doesn't put the LCD panel right up to the front of the screen. I saw a chap online that came up with a bracket. Thank you very much. I've had this printed out for me, and that should just drop straight into the bezel of the console on the front. Ignore the really bad painting job. Don't need to do the back. And then that should just drop straight into position, nice and tight against the front of the system, like that. Even I had to paint the front because I didn't want the mask around the screen to be bright coloured. It just wouldn't sit in with the current theme. I know it's not the same black as the other one, but it's the best I could come up with at the time. I just want to get it made. So that's all that into there. Now we need to get onto the part where we drop the screen in. Right, so now we're going to drop the screen in the front. There's our little screen. Let's get the back out of the way. This should just fit snug in here. But that's the screen in. That's the front half of the console is complete. There we go. That's in there. So just put that to one side. Now we need to work out how to plug it. In fact, I don't need to put this to one side. I need it here. What am I doing? Now the screen's in. Let's get rid of that because that's horribly warm. And we need to plug these in together. I'm pretty sure that the circuit board will go in that way, fold over, and then over again, leaving this contact at the top of the case where we can put that in to adjust the brightness of the screen. This should fold over and plug back in to the back of the circuit board, and everything should zip up nicely. Hopefully. So the screen's working, which means we put it together correctly. You know, the battery's light is flashing like crazy because these batteries are old batteries. But that is how it's going to go together. So I'm assuming if we put that up together, we'll be able to push that sensor behind the top part of the case, where it will just be held in under its own pressure. Because this one doesn't come with a sticker like some of the other kits. Some of the other kits come with this little connector that you adhere to the outside, well, the top side of the case. This one comes with one built in there. I'm assuming this is your touch sensor for your brightness. Yes, it is. I'll give it a little flick. The screen changes. So we've just got to come up with a way of storing that near the top. Yes, we know the battery's dead. Just turn off. Oh, it's been so long since I've used one of these. Can't remember how. Yeah, it just goes off. Lovely. Right. So the problem we have now, obviously we've got this all folded. We have to get it in. Is finding a home for this. This is going to be the difficult part. What I realised I've just done, and I said check every time. I said to myself check, is I left the keycaps out like a clever one. So I'll get those in. With all that done, machines together. The bulge is minimal. It's absolutely minimal. We just need to pop the joystick back on. Pop the watch battery cover back on. There we go, lock him in. Get some batteries. And a game. Right, what have we got? That'll do. Capcom versus SNK. Pop it in, on she comes. And as I found, look, which did work the first time, I was tapping anywhere on the case, and that was changing the brightness. Doesn't seem to be the case now. I might have got lucky. It must have been pressing on something at the time. Or is it because it's in the cartridge slot? Shall we just check that? Yeah, we know. So I've gone and folded it into the cartridge slot, which isn't the greatest thing in the universe to be doing. But at the minute, I've got the screen in, the screen's bright. I've got to come up with a way of stopping this folding into here, probably wedging it somewhere over here, or possibly just folding it over into the top in the front, tucking it in. But for now, every time I put a game in, it turns the brightness up and down, which isn't the best thing. English, yes, let's play. Classic. Yes. It can be whatever date you start on. There we go. A bit fingerprinty as I've not cleaned it up yet. But the bezel hides or the edges of the screen well. There are custom glass fronts you can get, but I couldn't find one. For some reason it will not let me play the game. That's interesting. Well, I'm going to move the sensor and then I'm going to try and find a battery to drop in there, and then it come. It's a tight fit now. But we're back to normal, so we'll see. Right, so now I've repositioned the sensor into the top. Folded in there, which works now. Stole the battery from my Sega Saturn, which means I've lost all my save games, but hey, I've only been playing Daytona, so who cares. So now this should work. I haven't had it on yet since I've zipped it all back up, but I know the sensor should work on the top. Adjusting the brightness of the machine. It did. You saw it. Now it's misbehaving. Ugh. Right. So a little temperamental. I've got to come away with. Oh look, it works now. You got it sort of near the front. That'll do. Right, English. Yes. 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 Set. Okay. Finished. Whee! There we go. Let's give it a quick wipe. With the fingerprints. And the batteries go! Pop him in. So we're on again. Obviously my battery's no good. Just the presence of the battery lets you past. If you don't have one in, you're just stuck on the menu. So even if it's flat, leave the battery in. Otherwise your games just won't boot, as I found, which is what happened before. Right. That isn't good at all. There we go. Through the menu. Gosh, totally exciting stuff in it. Watching this over and over again, which you probably won't do in the final one if I'm only good at editing videos, which I'm probably not, so this might stay in. Have a giggle at me, share me online, you know, look at this fool, he's got no clue. I don't mind, genuinely don't. And it goes off again. Skip that. I think I have a faulty power supply. But there you go. Matching the Millennium with a backlight. Let's turn some lights off and see what we've got. Ah, much better. I'm going to attempt to try and play this quickly without. If it goes off, it goes off. We know that the power supply is faulty. Nice to have a little joystick. That's tournament mode. Single. Average. Who should we be? That's Street Fighter, isn't it? Oh yeah. I mean, a pair of juiced up batteries in and not using my faulty power supply, this could be quite good. It's definitely a good mod. The sacrificing screen size, I guess, is just unfortunate, but it uses the same screen, I've read, as the Game Boy Color mod, with different software on the circuit board, which will be the next one. I found two being Game Boy Colors. I'm going to continue to upgrade all my handhelds. I'm going to leave the most difficult ones till the last. But next up, hopefully, we'll be getting the Game Boy Color, or my version of doing the Game Boy Color. Thanks for watching again. If you watched this video, I'm not the greatest at these things, but I managed to achieve it. I'm relatively happy with that. If you enjoyed that, I'm going to try and keep a few more of these videos coming, so like and subscribe to the weird guy that does average videos. You might see something unique, you never know. Thanks a lot, take care. Okay, so I just thought I'd update you real quick on the Neo Geo Pocket before we finish the video off. I had to change the mod, unfortunately, because the two-piece bracket I was using put too much pressure on the lens. About an hour or two after I'd done the mod, I came back to find the lens had popped off the machine, the bezel had come away, and the LCD panel was hanging out the front. It all sort of just sprung out under the pressure. So I took that out and put the one-piece bracket in, which doesn't press against the lens quite as much, if not at all, on the machine, so that way you don't run the risk of popping the front off. Still out with a bulge, but this is currently the best way I know of putting this mod together. It's not putting in too much pressure on the screen that you're getting any markings, so you're not going to damage it. It works relatively fine, and is definitely a good upgrade if you've got an Neo Geo Pocket and you still like playing it. So thanks for watching again, and I'll see you in the next video, and hopefully I'll be doing a Game Boy Color or two, or breaking one, why not. See you next time.